How's it going, guys? Cameron here with Canadian Gamer, coming at you with a little bit of a rant discussion video. Now today, this morning, I watched Lawrence Dagstein's new video. It was a good video. He's talking about how he's excited to get the PS5, and he's basically trimming off the fat, basically getting rid of some of his games that he's just not playing and he's sitting on. So, that's a great way from I guess an economical thrifty perspective. Sell off some stuff that's lying around the house, and that way when you make that big purchase, because that is a large purchase for some of us, you're not going to feel as guilty about it because you basically sold off a bunch of your stuff, so it's like you didn't even pay for it. So I totally get where he's coming from. I return bottles to the beer store when I can, and I do little thrifty things in my life as well, so I get it. He's really excited about it. He's thinking about picking up a few of the games that come out on launch day, including the new Horizon game as well, which I had to look up on Wikipedia here. Horizon Forbidden West, and it does look like that's a PS5 exclusive. It won't be coming out on the PS4 as well, which I'm surprised to see. So if he's looking to get some exclusives, I get it. So the rant today, it kind of ties into that a little bit, talking about the next gen consoles. And I hate to keep beating a dead horse, but obviously a little bit of controversy. When I say a little bit, I mean a lot, on the new Halo game, Halo Infinite, that's coming out for the Xbox Series X and also the Xbox One as well. People are complaining about the graphics. They think it looks last gen. So this is what I want to talk about. As we move forward with the newer consoles, people, you gotta stop having this expectation in your head that the graphics are supposed to be so much better than the current gen. So if we could just maybe dial it back a bit. I grew up at the beginning of the video game boom. At least I would consider it the beginning, because I had an NES back in '89, and then obviously when the Super NES and the Sega Genesis hit, that was a huge leap. That was legitimately, the graphics were like twice as better as the NES. There's no question about it. It was a huge discrepancy. It was incredible. And I can remember the same thing happened when the PlayStation, the N64, and to a lesser extent the Saturn came out. Going from 16-bit to 32-bit was just a huge graphical leap. It was insane. And then we kind of started to see a little bit less of a discrepancy when you went from the PlayStation 1, as an example, to the PlayStation 2 and the Dreamcast. It wasn't really, it was definitely better, but I wouldn't say it was like, 16 to 32-bit or 8 to 16-bit. It was just, a natural progression in graphics, fidelity and resolution and polygon count, etc. And then we go from PS2, original Xbox, GameCube, to the 360, Nintendo Wii, and the PS3. And again, here we go again. The graphics were a little bit better, but it wasn't like night and day difference. There's just like, again, more polygons, but it wasn't like mind-blowingly different, let's be honest here. And then we go from the 7th gen to the 8th gen, which we're in now. Now the Xbox One and the PS4, with the exception of a few titles, as an example, Red Dead Redemption 2, probably Horizon Zero Dawn as well. For the most part, a lot of the games on the current gen don't look much different than the 7th gen. I'm sorry, that's just how I feel about it. Again, this is just one man's opinion. If you want to, disagree with me, I really don't mind. We can talk about it in the comment section. But for the most part, again, I don't think Far Cry 4 and 5, well, they look pretty good. Not much different than Far Cry 3 as an example. And then if I look at my collection of games, Fallout 3 compared to Fallout 4, is it really that much of a difference? I mean, it's not really that much of a difference. So Gears of War, Gears 5 looks pretty good, but again, it's not leaps and bounds over what was on the Xbox 360. And that leads me to this game that I'm playing now. I just beat this a couple of months ago. I'm new to the Halo franchise. I only got into it in the last year. I beat this a couple of months ago, Halo 5. Now, when I put this on, I was pretty blown away. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, okay. These graphics are legit. These are some of the best graphics I've seen to date on any console. I'm like, this looks like, the killer app or the killer ape that would sell a console. This was really impressive. And then, last week I put this on my 360. I took a step back and I got into Halo 4. And I'm like, maybe my eyes are playing tricks on me. But this looks pretty much on par with this. With the exception of like a little bit of, maybe better lighting in here. I mean, the graphics aren't completely different. This looks like a continuation of this. So, again, it's like, could the current consoles or the next gen consoles push things so far that there's a huge difference, between what we're used to? I think you would have to have, a developer or a publisher like Rockstar, as an example, that has the big bucks, has the dollars, that they can hire, thousands of people, get thousands of developers on board to push the console to the limit so you can see what it's really capable of. Because Red Dead Redemption 2, I think we can all agree, that's a beautiful looking game that would never be possible on the 7th generation of consoles. But again, aside from that rare exception, the graphics are only going to be as good as however far the developers choose to design the game or push the game. So a lot of the games are indie games these days. Let's be honest, they could probably run on the 7th gen consoles, the 8th and the 9th. So yeah, I just think everybody that has this crazy, wild expectation that the graphics need to be, so much better than what we're used to. I think you got to get away from that mentality. I think as far as hardware is concerned, we're at a point now, and this goes probably for the next 20 years and beyond. It's going to be less and less noticeable as the years go on, as far as improvements in graphical fidelity and capabilities. There's only so much they can do, guys. Like, there's only so much they can do. They can improve the how do they pronounce it? Volumetric lighting and God rays and all those technical terms. That's fine, but at the end of the day, like I said, there's only so much these companies can really do. So when you start seeing these next gen games come out, and you're looking at them and you're like, oh, that looks like something that could run on the PS4 and the Xbox One. Because like I said, the hardware could be as powerful as they want to make it. But I just don't think these developers are going to, create these games that are going to be like from 16-bit to 32-bit or 8 to 16. It's just not like that anymore, guys. It's just not like that. Even the current generation consoles, however outdated the hardware is, it is still capable of producing some pretty damn good looking games, and a lot of times you see the best looking games towards the end of the console's lifespan, when these developers can really exploit the hardware. And I'm sure the next generation of consoles will be the same. So if you're on the fence about jumping out and getting the next gen console, you might want to wait a while until a lot of these developers are able to, again, exploit the hardware in such a manner that you're going to see a huge difference, a huge graphical leap. So yeah, Lawrence, if you're watching this, it's cool that you're getting a PS4. Just be aware that the graphics, and I know you understand, you're all about the gameplay, the graphics aren't going to be a huge leap over the PS4. It is what it is. And the same goes for again, Halo and Infinite. People are bitching and moaning about that. I don't think that it's so much of a bad looking game. I just think, again, the developers are just, pushing it as far as they can push it. And again, I think with the technology in the new consoles, that's not on its own going to make a game look better than a last gen game. You need to have the right team on board that can, again, push the hardware, the right artists on board that can really come up with unique ways to make a game look good. So that's how I feel about it. When I see Halo Infinite, I don't get upset about it. I understand that they're making the best of the situation, and a lot of you guys out there need to get that out of your head, that just because it's a next-gen console, the graphics need to be next-gen. It's just not a realistic way of looking at things. So that's it. That's my rant for today. Leave in the comments below if you disagree with me. If you agree with me, that's fine. But I just wanted to get that off my chest. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. We're at the 11-minute mark. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good day.